Anjali has told you that we have to transform our body, our vital, and our mind. Okay. Now, this is a huge subject, and we will go step by step. Okay. So, what is meant by transformation? And why should we? My first question to you is, why should we transform our body? Is our body not already good enough for us? That's your question. First question I will ask you. When can you say that your body is a sufficiently good instrument for you? By the way, you must also know that you are not the body. Okay, this you must get firmly established in your mind. Okay, this we have done before also. So, if you are not the body, what part of you is really you? When I say I, what do you mean by I? Which part of you is the one that is really the I? Tell me. That's an easy question.
Our soul.
Yes, that's right. Now, when we say our soul, the soul is something permanent within you, right? Your body is not something permanent. If something is not permanent, it is not you. Okay? It doesn't belong, it only belongs to you. It is not you. Only the soul is permanent. First thing you must understand, okay, that you must understand that you are not the body. And we are conscious only of our body, and we have the body is the instrument. So the soul, without our knowing, is actually using the body as an instrument in the physical world. Now tell me, if your body is not there, okay, you don't have a body, can your soul be in the physical world? How can it be in the physical world when it doesn't have something physical? You need an instrument. Okay. All the professionals, let us say a carpenter. Carpenter can't do his work without an instrument. Okay. So a builder cannot also do without his instruments. Exactly in the same way. Mechanical also, a mechanic cannot do his work without an instrument. He needs instruments. So your soul is a real part of you, and your body is an instrument in the physical world. You also have another instrument which is your vital. Your vital is the energy part of you. Okay. Then you have a mind also, and the mind also is a instrument. So these three are instruments, and today we will focus only on the lowest instrument. This is a very fundamental question, and you have to have clear ideas about it. First thing you must know is that you are not the body. The body is something given to you for a short amount of time. Okay. So get firmly established in your mind, and then you will start wondering, if I am not the body, what am I? So you have to be at least mentally conscious that you have a soul in you. Okay. And you have to try to become conscious of the soul. That's not an easy work. That's the work of yogis, but you can always start. And the more sincere you are about your work, you are likely to get the result. Okay. But you must really try and understand who you really are. You look into yourself, you will see your body is acting. You look into yourself, you have emotions all the time. Okay. You think that you are my emotions. I am being kind, I am being jealous, I am being angry. But it's not you. It's your instruments which are behaving in that way. The real you is your, just now as I said, your soul. And instead of those language, the soul is the psychic being. The psychic being is part of the divine. Those who are doing the Gita, you know very well, your soul is the Ansha Sanatana. It's a eternal part of the divine. Okay. So now tell me, what do we mean by transformation of the body? Okay. Why should we transform the body at all? Is your body an adequate instrument for you in the world? Can you do whatever you want with your body? Does it have limitations? And can you get rid of the limitations? So, can some of you tell me what could be those things in the body which are you can consider defects and which you would like to get rid of?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nishita Mishra. So the one thing I would like to change about my body is that, I overthink a lot of things sometimes. Like if I'm thinking about one thing, then I start thinking about what will happen next to me. So I overthink a lot. So I would like to change that thing about my body.
Okay. Now listen, you are talking of something in the mind, you are thinking, but I am talking of the body. So Saransh is there lifting up his hand. Saransh, tell me, what would you like to change in your body? What you consider as a defect?
So there is a tendency to procrastinate, or we can say laziness.
Okay, laziness. Very clearly, that is part of the body. So one would like to change one's laziness. In other words, yes, somebody else also has lifted up the hand. Tell me what you would like to change apart from laziness.
Yes, sir, I talk too much, so I want to change it.
Okay, very, you want to talk less. Okay, control your speech. Yes, that is also part of the body. Okay, then nobody has mentioned disease. Nobody has mentioned inability. These are all in the body, na? Arya, is that? Yes, Arya, tell me.
So, for example, sir, you told us that. So, what we see could just be fake. So, sir, for example, sir, we don't have the hearing of a dog. We don't fly. That is the thing which our spirit sometimes looks for. The inabilities which a humankind can face, or another kind of animal or species faces. For example, a bird thinks that it. For example, a fish thinks that it can't fly, and a bird thinks that it can't swim.
Okay. So, Anjali, can you tell me what he said? Because
Yeah, so he's saying that inabilities are there in every world.
okay,
Like the animal
yeah,
would feel that I can't swim. A bird feels that she can't swim.
okay,
And a fish feels that she can't fly.
okay,
He said, even I feel that I wish I could fly, I could swim. You know, like a bird. These are also some inabilities.
that's right.
that
So,
human has.
I actually asked you to list me the inabilities. Tell me one by one. You have clubbed everything together and you are saying that there are many inabilities. That's right. Now, one of you told me that there is laziness. That is very clearly an inability. Okay. You're not being able to do what you want. Your energy level is sometimes not fatigue. Okay. Fatigue is in the body. That's right. But now, how to get rid of laziness? What are the ways that we will discuss one by one? What other? Nobody has mentioned to me disease. That's in the body, na? That's the most obvious defect that we have. Okay. Should we not be absolutely disease-free? Tell me. What do you think? Children, tell me, what do you think? Should we not have a very healthy body without disease? That's the worst part, na? Yes, we should have a body which is absolutely healthy and not subject to disease and decay. Okay, that's one thing. Then tell me, is it is not that you should have a disease and then take medicine and cure yourself. Is there some way of remaining healthy without taking medicine? Can you think of something? Yes, somebody has lifted up the hand. Tell me.
Sir, by doing co-curricular activities, we can cure our laziness.
Okay. So we'll discuss this way of trying to be healthy. Okay. One idea I will give you, and I will ask you to give me more ideas. Is it not true that if your life is very organized and very disciplined, okay, there is less chance of inability in the body? Should discipline not be a factor?
Yes. And it includes proper food also.
Yes, that's what we are going to discuss one by one. So, what is the type of food that you should eat so that your body remains healthy? Okay. So, food is one. But now we are trying to think of elimination of disease without medicine. Okay. Is that possible? First, you tell me whether you think it is possible.
So I
You
think,
will come next after, okay? Yes.
but I think, in my opinion, eating healthy food can cure our diseases.
Yes, healthy food is one thing, but also regular habits. We were discussing just now of discipline. See, you should be very regular in your habits. Okay, we have seen very clearly that those who have got very disciplined habits, okay, a fixed time for food, a fixed time for going to bed, a fixed time for getting up, okay, and a fixed time for taking bath. It should not be disorganized life. Okay, if you do this, bring discipline into your life, there is every chance that you will be relatively free of disease. Now tell me, do you think it is possible for any man to be from birth to death without disease?
No, sir.
It is not possible. Why? Because the physical world is one in which all these things are there. Imperfections are there at every level. But should we not try to reduce them? And you can reduce them certainly by discipline. That's one way. And discipline includes doing everything at the right time in the right way. Right time, it's very important. That's the reason why we have a fixed time for eating, we have a fixed time for study, we have a fixed time for going to school, we have a fixed time for playground, okay? A little bit of entertainment also if you want. Entertainment is okay, but you must also, when you are students, your study time must be fixed. You must not give excuses and avoid the study time, okay? So regularity and discipline, very important for the body, okay? Then someone mentioned food. We'll discuss the food, but yes, tell me what you are. Come to the mic. Come near the mic and tell me what.
The hygiene can help us.
Absolutely. So, cleanliness. So, first we'll discuss food, then we'll go to cleanliness. See, you are also getting ideas, and that's why I want an interaction with you people. You will get yourself ideas and you will give me the solutions. When you think about it, automatically the solutions will come up. We have a tendency to brush these things aside. But if we are very clear in our minds, and this discussion, I hope, will help you. So let us say food, okay? And then we will come to hygiene. Hygiene is something even more fundamental, but let us come to food. What is the type of food which is likely to make you sick? Then we'll talk of food which should give you good health. Yes, again, come to the mic.
Yes, sir, the junk food can harm our stomach, and the healthy foods like green vegetables can help
You're
us.
absolutely right. Junk food. Now define junk food to me. Tell me, what is junk food?
So the food not good for our body.
Yeah, but I want you to give me a name.
So junk food means which the food which damages our body system and
Yeah. Okay. And junk food also, that's a regular meals at regular times is very important and it should be healthy. We will discuss the healthy food, but junk food is certainly to be avoided. And junk food normally you will see is eaten outside regular meal hours. No? You are going in the street and suddenly you see someone selling something in the street and you want to eat. Okay, then you eat that. So junk food certainly you should avoid. Okay, that's very clear. Now, what is a healthy food?
So healthy food is such a food which has the combination of all required macros and micronutrients. Answer which doesn't has a lot of fat but protein in a certain amount of calorie.
Yes. So proteins are very good for your muscles and all that.
Yes.
Then there are also carbohydrates. Na? That means bread and rice. That also builds up the body. That's a basic building material of our body. So carbohydrates and also proteins. Okay. And then should we have a little bit of lipids also? Lipids means oil, butter, ghee, these things. We should have a little bit of that also. Not too much. If you have too much of that, then there's a problem. Huh? So what about fruits? You didn't mention fruits. That's the healthiest food of all. Huh? Fresh fruits. That's a source of vitamins, and that is what we should do. So healthy food is fruits. What about milk? Many people don't digest milk, but we can have milk variants. Na? You can have paneer, okay? You can have chas, you can have buttermilk. There are different variants, okay? Everybody can't digest milk, but milk is not to be dismissed as something not fit for human beings. I know that many people do that, but that's not very true because milk is a very healthy level. Milk, fruits, fresh fruits, freshly cooked food, stale food you must avoid. So these are the things that you can do. To be free of disease, regularity of habits, disciplined life, regularity of activities, everything in time, and very, very the eating of right food, not junk food, eating of right food. But now tell me, what about the quantity of food? The quality of food we have discussed. Now, what about the quantity of food? How much food should we take? Yes, tell me.
So actually, it depends upon your body weight. Like an average teenager or person eats about 2300 to 2700 calories, and just by existence, human body burns around 1800 to 2000 calories.
Yes, that's true. Because you must eat enough just to maintain the body. You must neither eat too much nor eat too little. If you eat too little, I know that there are many people who are afraid of putting on weight. Okay, there is even a name for that. There is a disease which you eat less and then you become thin and weak. That you should not do. Okay, you should eat enough to keep your health, but you should not overeat. There should be no greed. Greed is something which will not help you to keep a healthy body. Yes.
Something called caloric deficit. Like you eat less amount of calories, but the diet has more amount of protein. That's how you lose fat in your body.
Yes, that also is true. But at the same time, we should also mention that too much of attention on the food, actually there are people who start measuring with a weighing machine how much I'm eating and how much of that. That is not very, very desirable because there are more important things in life than eating. No? For instance, your studies are 10 times more important than your food. There are people who become very, very fussy about the quantity and what you are eating and all that, and they start becoming rigid also. There should be no rigidity. There should be flexibility, and you should be able to adjust the needs of your body to what you're eating. As I said, many people nowadays we have discovered so many things. Now, some people are allergic to even wheat. So naturally, you have to avoid wheat. There are some people who are allergic to other things. Okay, so you have to adjust your body to the needs of what your health needs. You should do that. Now tell me, we have not discussed it. Is there a truth to that non-vegetarian food is bad for us? Is there a truth to that? What do you think? We can have different opinions. Yes, tell me. Come to the mic.
So I think it depends to our body that if our body can digest the non-veg food, then it is good. If our body cannot digest the meat and all, then it is not.
Yeah. But is it not possible that your body will not digest some vegetarian things also?
It is possible if our body is very weak.
Yes, that's right. So we should be able to be very conscious of what we eat and see what is suiting us. But there should be no greed in it, okay? And there should be no forcing of the body. Yes, Arya, tell me.
I think so that we should have a balanced diet. So whatever we eat, for example, milk has calcium. For example, cottage cheese or meat will help us in proteins and so carbohydrates in wheat. So we should have a balanced diet
Exactly.
and a fibrous diet which helps us to digest our food.
Yeah. Now, suppose someone is a scholar or someone is an athlete, okay? He has got he's a football player, for instance, okay? So, would it be okay, would you say that it's okay for him to eat a little meat? That would be okay. But the main thing is there should be no fad. What you are saying is absolutely right. There should be no rigid ideas about food because each one is built in a different way and each one has to find out for himself what his body needs, not what your vital need, not what your body needs. You have to realize what your body needs and you have to be, in other words, you have to be very, very objective about what your body needs, isn't it? So, tell me. Someone is laughing. Someone is having a... So, yes, tell me. What do you want?
I am an athlete, sir. I need to ask, sir, that, sir, non-veg will not suit, sir, because, sir, athletes cannot digest non-veg very...
Okay. So now this subject actually we have discussed in great detail about how to try to be free of disease. Okay. Now, and someone mentioned laziness. How will you conquer laziness? Remember one thing. I'll just again bring you back to the main subject that we are discussing, the transformation of the body. What is meant by the transformation? That's a very high subject, okay? And it can be a very complicated thing. May not be very, very suitable for children at your age, but we will discuss that a little bit at the end. So, we have to, first of all, maintain the body in a very, very healthy condition, okay? Free of disease. That is the main thing. And we have discussed regularity of food, discipline, eating what is right for you, avoiding junk food. So these things all you must try and put into practice. If you have the theory, that's fine. But it's not enough. No? You must also put it into practice. So you must use your will. Is it true that you have to use your will?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you must use your will. And also, yes, I'll come to you. You have lifted up your hand. Okay. But tell me, should we also not be objective without letting our desires interfere in our choice of foods?
Sir, we should be objective.
Yes, we should be objective and we should not allow our vital to dictate terms. No, I like this and I like that. You have to see whether liking is okay. We all have tastes, but it should be in a very, very measured scale. Okay, nothing should be excessive and nothing should be less than what your body needs. Okay, so you lifted up your hand. Tell me.
Sir, the junk food is bad for us. So why is it made?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Can anyone tell me why they make junk food? Yes, tell me. There are two people who lifted up the hand. Tell me, why do people make junk food?
I think so. People eat junk food because they wanted to try something new and it was really tasty. So they started eating it. And now it is really unhealthy. And they also don't like to eat it, but they cannot sacrifice junk food. So they just eat the junk food.
Listen, those who are making junk food, they are doing it for their own profit. As you said, they may not be eating themselves. It's for commercial reasons. This is the whole problem in the physical world, okay? Everybody is trying to make money and they don't mind if they make it in the wrong way. So junk food is made to make you greedy for what they are producing, okay? So that's a wrong thing. They should not do that, okay? But they do it. That's the whole problem. But the world is, just now we spoke about it, the world is imperfect. And so everybody is trying to make a quick buck, okay? And that's what they do. They make junk food for their own profit. They don't make it for your benefit. They want to just exploit what is there, okay? So, yes, you lifted up your, yeah, tell me.
Sir, the first junk food I believe was a fast food called a burger. Answer, it was made because it took very less time. It was made under 2 minutes. That's why junk foods are very popular in the market. They take very less time.
Yeah, junk food is very popular with the masses because the masses are not always very conscious. Nah? Mostly they are subject to their own desires and they eat whatever is tasty, not what is healthy for you. That you must be able to distinguish between tasty food and healthy food. But are they opposites? Is tasty food always not healthy?
No, sir.
Yes.
Exactly. And healthy food may not be very tasty sometimes. No? But you must be able to distinguish between the two. Okay? Yeah. For instance, I'll give you one food which is very good for you, but may not be very tasty. Okay? Sprouted moog. Okay? You know, if you take sprouted moog, it's very good for your health. No? Have you heard of sprouted moog? Ankur is a moog.
Healthy. It can be made in a very tasty manner also.
Yeah, it can be made tasty, but if you eat it without being tasty also, it's good for you. But it is for the parents and those who are looking after the children to make it as tasty as possible. Is it wrong to make something tasty? Certainly not. All food should be palatable. In other words, it should be very, very, you should be able to eat it with pleasure. Okay. But That is what you should do. So that is the laziness. Now we discuss laziness. How to avoid laziness? Tell me. One child, the first thing that they spoke about was laziness. So what can we do to avoid laziness? How do we avoid laziness? Is it easy?
So to avoid laziness, so first we should have a willpower. So laziness is not because we are tired. After some time our body revives ourselves and we are able to work again.
Yes, that's right. Okay. And we should also not overexert ourselves. Laziness is bad, but overexerting the body also is not bad. Is not good. So you have to have a balance between all these things. You are absolutely right. We have to be objective and we have to look at our own body like a machine. When a machine is not working, then you have to repair it. Okay. So, yeah, tell me.
So for example, so you told us about the food. So for just like the food, so like the food should be balanced. Just the same way our resting time, our sleep time should be balanced.
Yes, exactly.
Or else we won't be doing any work. Like so we are just lazy, we are sitting in a room with our eyes just like this.
Okay, so now again, you lifted up your hand again. Tell me.
It is not our mistake that we feel lazy. It is a brain's mistake that the brain makes us lazy. That the brain wants to save the energy, so we feel lazy.
Okay, so what you are saying, the element of truth in it, certainly. But is it really the brain that makes you lazy or is it your body?
The brain.
Which is more true? Yes, tell me, Arya.
Have to be lazy because of our body. We should not let our mind say that now you're tired, you should go and sleep. Body should tell the mind that we are tired, we should go and sleep.
Yeah, okay, so that is true.
So I have a question.
Yes, tell me.
What are the ways to get out of laziness? Sir?
What are the ways to avoid laziness?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're discussing. So that's why I just asked you a question. Just now, Arya said that we should be able to see, we should not be able to, we should certainly not exert ourselves. And someone said there is the brain that is responsible for that. So what he is saying is partly true, that there is universal nature. Okay. Now, this is a truth which you have to understand. It may be a little difficult for you to understand, but our body is part of matter, universal matter. Do you agree? So, matter, from matter, your body is made from matter. Yes, tell me.
I think that most of the laziness that we experience comes from the procrastination. So we know what is right and what is wrong, but most of the times it is very hard for us to actually aim for what is right and do it, because all of us have an idea of what is the right decision and what is the wrong one, what we should eat, what is healthy and what we shouldn't is junk. But still sometimes the mind takes control and we eat what we shouldn't. So procrastination, laziness and the uninterest in doing work leads to bad decisions.
Yeah, so that is exactly what we were discussing. So regularity will eliminate many of these things. Okay, regularity and eating the right food. Okay, certainly. But we were asking now about laziness, and will the mind have a role in eliminating laziness? Can we use our will to eliminate laziness?
Yes, sir.
Yes, certainly. But the will is coming from where?
So inside.
Okay.
Sir, if we see from a scientific perspective also, we have studied in physics that a light ray has the tendency to deviate least, because it wants to save its energy as much as it is possible.
Yes.
So it's the tendency of the matter, it's the tendency of the body it does not want to leave its comfort zone.
Yes.
So this is the tendency of the body. What we need to do is that we need to, actually there would be a conflict between mind and body, and the game is that who wins.
Okay.
If mind wins, so it would be better for us. If body wins, then
Yes, what you're saying, that's exactly what I was about to discuss. Okay. Our body is part of matter. Now, matter without life is something dead. So it is true what this child sitting on this side said, that we are not responsible much for our the laziness. That is true, that nature of matter itself is laziness. A stone does not move, and our stone is matter, and our body also is made of matter, but with a small difference. There is a prana in it. The stone does not have prana. So, to a certain extent, there is truth that body is, there is a tendency, a basic tendency of laziness in the body. But that is where the will comes in, and the prana also. Okay. So you have to exercise your will, and you must be able to know when you are really tired, and there is a difference between tiredness and laziness. So we should be able to distinguish between the two. See, these are very simple things, but you are all children and you must have clear ideas about what is to be done. So it is true. So laziness can be combated to a certain extent by will. Okay. Yes, tell me. Tell me what your name is.
So my name is Om Sharma, and I think that the fat in the junk food make our body more lazy. So if we eat the healthy food, then we will not feel lazy quickly.
Yes, I think food has a role to play in laziness also. It is well-known fact that if I eat too much of rice, okay, it gives you sleepiness at night, in the afternoon. So many people avoid rice and eat bread. So you have to discover for yourself. Each one has to discover for yourself. Yes, a girl which has lifted up. Yeah, tell me. What do you have to say?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to add on to what Saransh said. Sir, he said it's the conflict between who wins,
That's
whether
right.
it is the mind or the body. So, sir, after that, I would like to say that we should also question from where does our mind come from. If our mind is also along with the body, if the mind also agrees to the laziness of the body, to the tendency of the body,
Yes.
then the game then there will be no conflict.
Yes.
So we should also question our mind, that what is the center of it from which it comes.
Okay, so what you're saying is true, that there is a interaction between the mind and the vital and the body. But today we are discussing only the body. Okay, so it is true that the mind has to cooperate with the body. Now, you mentioned a very interesting thing which we might touch upon briefly here. Okay, now there should be a harmony between our mind, our vital, and our body. Nah? Now, suppose there is harmony, it will make for a good condition. Nah? Suppose you have got 10 children in the school and you are all working harmoniously and without any irritation and without anger, will the work turn out will not be better?
Yes,
So
sir.
harmony will definitely promote good health in the body. Okay. So there should be harmony between mind, vital, and body. Is that the normal condition, or is there always a difference between what the mind is thinking and what your desire is wanting and what your body is wanting? Is there a contradiction, or is there a perfect harmony normally in man? Tell me.
Sir, I think so. Most of the time, it's a harmony. So because what our body wants is what we are dragged towards. What our mind is thinking of is what we are taking us.
Yeah, but do you think it is always like that? Is it not the other way around, that mostly there is a difference in the mind and the desire in the vital and the body? There is a difference. There is, in fact, if you can establish a harmony between your mind and your vital and your body, you will be very healthy condition. Not only healthy bodily, but even mentally you will be healthy, and you will also be vitally also full of energy. If there is a harmony, that harmony is usually not so easy to get. Okay, these requires a lot of yogic development to be able to bring a harmony. So we have all discussed the imperfections of the body, laziness, greed. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a very fundamental question. Which is the worst thing that can happen to a body? We are coming into a very, very difficult situation. Tell me, what is the worst thing that can happen to your body?
The worst thing will happen, sir, that our body will get paralyzed.
Okay, paralyzed also, that should not be. So that also is there. Then what else? Yes, tell me. You have lifted up your hand.
If someone dies, it can the pran of that his body will be not there, so the body has nothing.
Very good. I wanted this only, the death. Death is the worst thing that can happen to a body. Okay. So yes, tell me.
So, in my opinion, the worst thing to a body that can happen is bad habits. Like drinking and smoking. These are the worst habits, in my opinion.
Okay. They are bad habits, certainly. But what will be the effect on the body? We are discussing the body.
Finally, the body.
So, the person would have something problem, would have a lot of problem in the liver and have lung cancer or the problems in the lungs because of it, which could eventually make him die.
Yes, that discussion falls under the head of disease. We have discussed the disease, how to avoid disease. No? So, certainly your habit should be regular. And we discussed discipline and regularity. So, yes, tell me.
So, if we will be lazy and if we will do bad habits, so our body will have disease, and then we will not be able to cure the disease, and then we will certainly die with it.
Yes. So, now we have discussed so many things of the body, and we have discussed also methods of how to try and make the body healthy. But as we said just now, disease can be there. Someone mentioned paralysis. Okay, it can mention all sorts of a stroke. Okay, and you can have a permanent disease. Now, these things are also part of the physical world, and we also discussed whether it's possible for a human being to remain healthy from birth to death without disease. And I think most of you agreed that that's very difficult to do. Now, I am asking you a very difficult question, which we will discuss. You may not have the answer, but we will discuss that. Is it possible? Someone lifted up the hand at the back. So tell me, before we discuss this last thing, tell me.
To answer your question, that was the worst thing that could happen to your body. So,
No, I didn't follow. Speak clearly and slowly.
I wanted to answer your question that what is the worst thing that could happen to your body.
Okay, tell me.
So, losing your consciousness because you're alive but still you're dead.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Death is the worst thing that can happen to the body. Now, yes, tell me. Tell me.
I think that the worst thing that can happen to our body is not being able to take full control of it. So it's not paralysis, but you have to take support just to be able to gain full consciousness of your body. So you're not dead, but you're experiencing the worst feeling that you can living.
Yes, that also is true. It is true that if you are living and you are suffering, okay, that can be considered worse than death. But now my question to you is, and this is a little, we'll have to go beyond our subject, but is it possible for the body to be free of death? Is it possible for the body to become immortal? Tell me, what do you think?
So no, sir, no one is immortal, and that we call Amar. No one is Amar. That we have to die some or the other.
Okay, so death is permanent in the physical world. So tell me, the girl sitting right in front. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, as Anjali Ma'am has said before, that the body is just like clothes that we wear. So, sir, body is bound to die.
Ah,
It's in our destiny.
yeah,
But soul cannot die. The soul is immortal.
that's true what you're saying. But we are discussing the body. We are discussing the body. I am asking you a question. It's a theoretical question at present. Is it possible for the body to become immortal?
Sir, please give the answer because the children have started going already. It's important that we give the answer now.
Okay.
Because the children are going, the bells have started ringing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's true. It's a very difficult subject. But one day you will come to know that with the development of evolution, it should be possible for the body also to become ideally immortal. But that is a subject which we'll have to discuss It's a subject which cannot be discussed at the child's level. Okay, so we have to go much beyond that. But theoretically, yes, at present, even that is possible. Is not medicine trying to do that? Are the doctors not trying to increase your longevity? So longevity, there is no limit to it. You can extend life by 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Have you not heard of yogis who live beyond 100 years?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about it? Yes. Okay. I can tell you, in the ashram we have, in the Sri Aurobindo Ashram, where I am there, we have very regular habits, because the dining room where we go, it will open at one time and close at one time. So we have to be regular for our food. So these things, we have to go on time to the school, we have to go time to the playground. So what happens is, regularity comes by itself. That increases the discipline and the regularity, and many people are living beyond the age of 100. Okay, in the ashram we have had at least a dozen cases where people have gone beyond the age of 100. So a yogi can live for even longer. We have heard of those things, people who are living in the mountains with a very simple lifestyle. Okay, eating simple food, working honestly without any worries. They are not in a city. They are in the hills or the farms, and they are in a very healthy condition. There are no desires, and they live for a long time, 120, 130. It's not unusual. It can happen. But we are discussing death. Okay.
Just one little question. I
Yeah.
am just curious to know this. So when we are talking of the body, do we also talk about emotions? Because if we are talking of the longevity of the body,
Yeah.
then the emotions are thoughts.
Yes.
Though we were discussing about the mind,
Yes.
but at any point of time, even if we eat healthy food,
Yes.
good food, but if emotionally
Yes.
we are anxious
Yes.
most of the time,
Yes.
has it got a bearing on the physical aspect of the body?
Absolutely. And that is one of the things that we have not yet discussed. We are discussing only the physical. Now, I was going to bring up that subject also, because suppose you are very upset about something. Okay. I don't know if all the children, some of the children have experienced this or not, but when you are very upset emotionally about something, okay, it can have a physical effect on the body. Okay, it's not uncommon, if you are very upset emotionally, to have an upset stomach. Okay, this is a known fact. Okay, so definitely your emotions and the calmness of your emotions and your vital, okay, they have an effect of giving. That's exactly what meant by harmony between the vital and the body and the mind also. Wrong thoughts in the mind also can affect the body. This is absolutely true. Okay, just like we know, for even such a simple thing as sounds. Okay, harmonious sounds promote health and development. We know that harmonious sounds, and we have tried. Their experiments have been tried even on fields of rice fields and wheat fields. They have played violin music, and they have seen that it has a tremendous effect on the plants also. So if plant is after all matter, okay, it's a body, and it has got tremendous effect. So it's a known fact that a disturbed vital and wrong emotions have an effect of giving you unhealthy body. Yeah, definitely true. And so wrong thoughts and wrong emotions also will give you a disbalance. There will be disbalance in the body. That's right. So it's very necessary for you to have the right type of emotions. If you have the wrong type of emotions, okay, then we are going on to the next subject of emotions. But that can have a very deleterious effect on your body. If you have healthy thoughts and healthy emotions, there will be great promotion of calm and peace and health in the body. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely a fact.
So what about wrong kind of music?
What about music?
Music,
Yeah.
its effect on the body, because there are so many kinds of music and children are fond of music. So the
Yes.
kind of music that promotes a healthy body,
That's right.
I mean, is there some relation? It's just my curiosity.
Of course, of course. There is sound that can destroy, and there is sound that can promote good health. Okay. For instance, see, sounds which are nowadays we have this jazz and hard metal and all these things. If you are very objective, you will agree that these things don't have, they excite the vital, they excite the emotions. So that is certainly not good. Whereas harmonious music, you may not like Indian classical music, but certainly Indian classical music and Western classical music also, okay, the orchestration, Western, they promote good health and a healthy, not only body, but even a healthy vital and a healthy mind. Certainly, it's a fact.
In our school, we are playing the mother's organ music
Yes.
full time.
Ah,
Full day, full night, mother's organ music
Yeah.
is played on the PA system.
yeah, there's nothing better than that. You can also consider playing Sunilda's, Savitri music. Right?
I just want to say something to the children.
Go ahead.
And please correct me if I'm wrong. My knowledge is limited. So, children, there are certain kinds of music. I just want to know that have you ever had tears in your eyes when you heard something, heard someone sing or any kind of music? So, can you tell what kind of music was that?
Very good.
Loud, jazz, classical, or someone singing or instrumental? What kind of music would you categorize it to be?
I mean, instrumental music.
Instrumental music. Which instruments?
It was guitar.
Guitar. Right.
What about sarod? Flute. If you listen to Chaurasia's flute, it is the most wonderful music. No? He will never play the music.
In school,
And perhaps the singer, the way the singer was singing
Yes.
and his own consciousness, the singer's consciousness, did that affect your emotions,
Yes.
your association with the song?
So, children,
When
answer her.
somebody's, yeah,
ma'am,
ma'am can add a lot to that. Because that is why mother's music is being played in the schools. I wanted them to come to that. What consciousness?
I'm in Spec Mackey around 2 weeks ago. We had attended this session where a really beautiful Kathak dancer had come, and the kind of music that she was dancing to, like including the instruments, the voice of the singers, and her dance, the whole aura and the atmosphere that it had created, it just impacted our day a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question. Pramini asked you a very interesting question. Sometimes when you listen to beautiful music, or even you see something beautiful, or you hear something beautiful, it can bring tears to your eyes. Now tell me, is that tears in the eyes when you hear something beautiful? Where is it coming from? What is the origin of that? Tell me. I think it's a little too much, but you can. It's coming from your soul. Okay? The soul is touched by the beauty. So it is a psychic being. When there are tears in the eyes for something beautiful, not sorrow, not something sad, but something which is beautiful. Okay? I hope some of you children have experienced that when you see something beautiful, okay, or you hear something beautiful, okay, you have read a poem which is marvelous, or you have seen something which is a beautiful act, okay, an act of kindness, an act of generosity, it may bring tears to your eyes. No? So that is always or when you hear bhakti songs, bhajans, if you hear bhajans, sometimes will there not be tears in the eyes? So that is the influence of the soul. We normally don't see the soul or the psychic being, but that is a clear sign that the soul is awake in you. And it's sure to one day become very obvious in your development. Okay? One day it will come out. And when the soul comes out to the front, it can be a very, very beautiful experience. Everything will be harmonious, beautiful, full of love. You will have only right feelings of love towards others. There will be no sense of enmity, no sense of something wrong. So that is what she mentioned, Pramini just now mentioned, tears in the eyes. That's the moment when the soul is able to send its influence out into the body, mind, life. Okay, so we have discussed so many things, and we also trespassed a little on the vital. Okay, because that also was mentioned that we must have the right type of emotions. We must also have the right type of thoughts also. Because let me tell you one thing, it's not today's subject, but suppose you have a wrong thought towards somebody. Okay, you don't like somebody because he is your rival or he has insulted you, and you have a very violent reaction against him. Okay, you have a thought, you even wish something wrong, bad happens to him. It can happen. Sometimes in a mode of anger, we can do that. Now, is that going to affect you, and how does it affect you? So you should never have these negative feelings. But can it have a wrong effect on you when you have a bad thought? Saransh, tell me.
Yes, sir, we do have that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's like throwing a ball against a wall. Okay, the ball comes back to you. Okay, so you must always have the right type of feelings for others. That will only promote harmony, and it will not harm you ever. But when you have a bad thought, a bad emotion, it harms you only, because it will come back to you and haunt you. Okay, so you must always never have any bad feelings about others, nor any violent feelings about others. If you do notice that, it's likely to happen, because we are all human beings and we have the nature of a human being. It's a mixture of good and bad. And when you do that, you must become conscious and pray for these bad thoughts and emotions not to come to you. You always have the option of praying to God. Okay, keep that in mind. When you are not able to do something, but you recognize that this thought is not good in me, you must have the capacity to pray and ask the divine, whoever your form of the divine is, to please let these thoughts or emotions not come to me. You must be able to say that. Okay? So let me tell you about sleep. Okay, we did discuss the regularity of sleeping hours and waking hours. We did speak about that, but there are two ways of doing it. Either you study at night or you study in the early morning. Now, it is an experience of yogis that sleeping early before midnight, okay, sleeping early is very healthy. And not only that, at the end of the day, you are tired, okay, and you want to go to sleep. So, if you go to sleep early and you get up early, you are fresh and you are ready for your study. Your mind also is fresh. So, it's a better habit to study in the early mornings and go to bed early enough. The sleep that you get in the early part before midnight is supposed to be more healthy, and after that you can get up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever is suitable for you, whatever work you have to do. And another thing, it's also very important to get up at fixed hours, because then the body, there's a rhythm in the body, you know that the body develops a certain rhythm of good habits. Okay, and that rhythm, gets upset. You have heard of jet lag? You have heard of jet lag, na? So when you are breaking your hours, regular hours, it takes a long time for the body to get back into shape. So regularity and keeping the discipline of fixed hours is very, very healthy for the body. So even when you get up for studies, I would recommend that studies be done in the early morning, not late at night. Late at night is not a good idea. Normally, it is experienced. But there are some people who do that, and if they find that there is no ill result, then it's okay for them individually. But generally, it is better to sleep early and get up early, so that you can use your. Another advantage is that when you're getting up early after a good sleep, you are healthy and you are full of energy at that time. Sometimes when you wake up, you are not full of energy, I know. You feel tired. But it is generally considered that it's a better habit to study in the morning hours. So that's about sleep.
I wanted to ask that the very first statement of your talk was that we need to understand that we are not the body. But sir, if we see the ground reality, then more than 99% of people are identifying themselves as body only.
Absolutely, you're right.
How can we convince them? Is there any fact-based explanation for that so that we can convince them to think beyond that, beyond reality?
Don't try to convince anybody else. Try to convince yourself first. That's the most important thing. Because when you try to convince others, it may have an effect, it may not have an effect. But one thing is there. When you are trying to convince others, have you got the knowledge, not mental knowledge, okay? A spiritual knowledge that yes, I am not the body. Can you say that you are conscious of your soul? You are not. No? So, when you are conscious of your soul, then only you know fully well that you are not the body. It's not a mental logic. It's not a mental knowledge. Okay? It has to be a spiritual knowledge, a knowledge in the very substance of your consciousness. That is so. It's of no use trying to convince others. Try to first convince yourself. Okay? That is more important. I may have mental knowledge, but that's not enough. I must know that the body is not me.
So, sir, if I reframe my question,
Okay.
and that how will I be more conscious of myself, then what are the remedies for that?
There's only one word can answer your question. Yoga. Okay. And that means to say that you must go on practicing, first of all, and that can come from many ways. If you are convinced that the divine is a reality and not just a mental concept, okay, then you want to know him. Depending on the intensity with which you want to know him, that is considered yoga. So when you get interested, okay, then you start this search for knowing the reality. The physical world is a reality, but it's a relative reality. It is not the full reality. There is a reality behind the form. The body is a form. The physical world is only full of forms, but there is a reality behind the form. And that reality is what is permanent. So that we are going into the range of, so when Anjali was talking about transformation of body, that is a very high subject, but your body can be transformed into something which can become death-free, disease-free, anxiety-free, okay? It can become absolutely calm and full of energy, fatigue-free. That is a possibility, but that's a very high-flown subject, so we'll discuss that much later, but it is possible. And that will come with the next stage of evolution.
Ranga, one little question
Yes.
that you just said, spoke about yoga, so it comes through yoga. Now, does that mean physical exercise is associated with yoga? Because there can be some people who practice yoga,
Yes.
that is connection,
Yes.
but they may not be doing those physical exercises, maybe because of some ailments or not allowed to do or whatever reason.
Okay, so very good question. If you are doing asanas, your body will benefit. If you are doing the Raja Yoga, okay, the Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi and Pratyahara, your vital will benefit. If you are doing the concentration in the mind, your mind will benefit. So definitely it can start at the physical level. That's what the Hatha Yogan is doing. The Hatha Yogan is trying to perfect his body without bothering too much about the mind and the heart. So in Sriyamdo's yoga, you have to apply all the three. You have to have right thoughts, you must try and eliminate all desires, and you must have regularity in the body. In Sriyamdo's yoga, it is psychological, and you are not forbidden to do asanas and pranayama, but certainly pranayama and asanas can help. No doubt about it. But you will be helped at the lowest level. But if you want to be helped at the vital level, then you have to do pratyahara, you have to get rid of your desires. If you want to have a health in the mind, then you have to learn to concentrate. So it depends at which level you are concentrating. There are many yogas. There is Hatha yoga for the body. There is bhakti yoga for the vital. there is Jnana Yoga for the mind. So there are different types of yogas. So definitely it can start at the physical level. No doubt about it. Asanas does help the body to remain healthy and give longevity. There is no doubt about it. Certainly. Everything is useful, but depends on how high you are pitching your aim. That's right.
Thank you so much. So beautiful. So basically, yoga, yoga basically means to unite.
Yes.
God, if you're using the instrument of the mind, we call it Gyan Yoga.
Yes.
If you're using the instrument of the heart, it is called Bhakti Yoga. If you're using the instrument of the body, it is called Karma Yoga or Hatha Yoga. So basically what Rangada is saying is what we have to do, Saranch as an answer, is yoga. Join, connect with the divine through all the three instruments. Connect with the psychic being.
Now, Saransh, tell me, when are you likely to start feeling the necessity of doing yoga? When you see that there are defects in yourself which you don't like, okay? It can usually start with unfortunately, it can start with a very tragic event, because then you start questioning the values that you have been used to. That's what happened to Arjuna also in the Gita. Na? He is suddenly faced with a situation where he has to kill his own guru and his own relatives. So he wonders what are the values that he has been using. So when you get very upset about something that happens in the family, okay, then you start questioning. And when there is a deep questioning about your own inabilities, then you are likely to start the yoga. Okay. But it can also come from the previous lives. You have already done a bit of yoga in the previous life. Yoga is a very big word, but we don't need to think of it in that way. Yoga is nothing but wanting to improve yourself. In a very, very practical manner, yoga is nothing but wanting to improve yourself. And when you want to improve yourself, when do you want to improve yourself? When you see defects in yourself. When you see defects in yourself, you want to get rid of them. 99% of the time, when we see defects in ourselves, we don't even call them defects. We say it's our nature, and you justify it. But that's exactly the turning point comes when you see it as a defect and not as a natural habit. Okay, that's it.
Saranch, Rangada, Saranch is doing yoga from many years, and the way we call yoga, I haven't given you the background.
Yeah.
These few children, they've been studying the Gita very, very concentratedly and with great dedication and sincerity for almost 5 years. And very sincere children, Saransh, Krinali, Nandini, Arya is not here today, Saurabh, and many others. I don't remember all the names. But these children have been really making a very sincere effort of doing yoga, the yoga, bhakti yoga, gyan yoga, karma yoga. Very sincerely they are doing.
That's really good to hear.
And
very obviously, Saransh and Arya also, they are always ready to come up with some answers.
Prinali also, yes.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a very good start, and we will see. So today we discuss the physical
transformation
and the transformation. That is something that I've just hinted at, okay? But I think it's too much for the children to talk of transformation of the body. Okay. Well, next time we will talk about the transformation of the mind and transformation of the vital. What do you, Saransh, you are there, I can see you. Tell me, what would be the transformation of the mind? When will you say, my mind is transformed? What do you think?
Sir, it is fully devoted for our aim, for the aim of the life to connect with the divine.
Is that enough? Now, at present, sometimes your mind is confused, na? And we have to struggle. Even with a mathematics problem or with a grammar problem, there is ignorance in us and we have to struggle. So, I will define transformation of mind in a different way. I will say that when your ignorance in the mind is transformed into light, into knowledge. That is the transformation of the mind. Okay? So there is no more any ignorance. You see the reality and understand the reality, you have knowledge. Now, what about the vital? When will you say that the vital is transformed? When it has got no hate, no looking down on others, no pride, okay? When it has got no anger, nothing, no negative feelings at all when it has got generosity and it's got wideness and got purity, desires. That would be a transformed vital. So a transformed body, in yoga we speak of a transformed body when the body will be absolutely free of disease and even death. That would be a transformed body. We spoke about transformation of body, so I'm just giving you that there's a possibility for the future. It can happen and will happen with evolution.
And Rangatha, for the mind, can we say that the transformation of the mind would involve, as you said, light, that light would lead to clarity of thought?
Absolutely.
Absolute clarity.
Yes.
And silencing. We should be able to silence the mind at will.
Yeah, that means to say that when the light comes into the mind will automatically stop thinking and your consciousness will go beyond the mind. That would be the transformation of the mind. If you look at your mind, you will see that constantly there are random thoughts coming into the mind. Random thoughts. This thing, that thing, without any order or without any sequence or without any reason. All sorts of things are coming into it. So we have to, when that activity is stopped, that's a transformation of the mind. It becomes like a lake which is without waves and is absolutely transparent, and the reflections in the lake then are perfect. Okay. That would be the transformed mind. When the mind is absolutely calm and quiet, without any waves, without any thoughts, then the truth gets reflected. That's a transformed mind. Okay, so au revoir, good, have a nice rest of the day, have a nice day. Okay.
Thank you, Rangatha. Thank you so much.
Anjali ji,
Thank you.
yeah.